But I think now we'll have a look at Emanuel's game, because this is a great result, beating Vachier-Legrave, French player, 2700 strength, and only after a couple of hours play. So very nice. So okay, Emanuel, do you want to talk us through your game? So this is going to be worth seeing for everyone out there, this crushing victory over one of the best players in France. So nice way to finish the tournament. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Great. So okay, so I guess you're white.
Yes. Okay. You have the game? It was on the live board 10, I think.
Okay, I'll see if I can bring up the game.
Or I can tell you the moves.
Okay, let's have a look. Oh, we do have the game, which is useful for us. Okay. I've done this thing again. Okay. Bear with me 1 second while I just bring up Emanuel's game. Okay. Myself, computers don't normally mix that well, so of course I've done something very stupid here, but it will be rectified very quickly. Okay. So this is Emanuel's 29 move win against Vachier-Legrave, rated 140 points higher than you. 150. So okay, good stuff. So let's go into the action. How many points did you finish on then?
7 points.
Okay, not bad.
Not bad. Yeah.
Yep, so
maybe sharing some price. I don't know.
Should be some
It's
price.
very tough this year. So
very tough, yeah. But still a good rating performance. So okay, so we have the poison point variation, which we've seen quite a lot so far. Bishop G5. We saw this yesterday in Shirov versus Ho, and we've seen it again in this game Nagy versus Lee. So you're going for the kill,
yes.
And this suits your style, I think it's fair to say.
Yes.
Because you're a very sharp player.
And he included H6 here first, which is quite popular nowadays, I think.
Okay.
You get some advantages as black in some lines of the poison pawn where you take on B2. White has already played the bishop to H4, and you cannot get back to D2 in some lines. So
okay, so
white is kind of forced to play a different way.
Right, so black did grab the pawn on B2. Now queen.
And here queen D2 is the main move. And I think we saw this with Huyefan and Shirov yesterday. Or Shirov was white, yes.
I think maybe the bishop's still on G5. Or,
yes, it was transposition. It could be the same, yeah.
Could be the same. Okay.
I didn't like that too much, so I prepared queen D3 this morning. Yeah.
Does your opponent always grab this pawn on B2?
He didn't have any games after queen D3, so I had no idea what would happen. Okay. Queen D3 is quite unusual move. It's not played that many games so far.
Okay, so interesting way to maybe play this game.
I think it's an interesting way to make use of H6, because as you will see later, G6 might be a weakness after F5, F take E6. And sometimes sacrificing with E5, queen can come to G6. Yep. We will see it later on. Yeah.
Okay, so capture on B2, rook B1, and now F5 immediately. Okay. Yes. So aggressive chess.
Yes. Yes. this is a very popular line I have played without the inclusion of H6, bishop H4, with the bishop on G5.
Okay.
And the question is what the difference is here.
So I guess as the G6 square is quite useful advantage to have.
Yes, but maybe also black has some advantages.
Okay.
If you play queen A5, you don't have bishop D2 and these things anymore. So.
Right. Okay. So let's see how it continues. So you opened up black's position here by capturing on E6. Now just bishop to E2. I guess E5 is another option, but
E5 doesn't work too well.
Okay.
Black will just take, and if you give it check, you are not well coordinated with the pieces for two knights are hanging and. So it makes sense just to develop. So bishop E2 was played. Yes. And now both sides castled. Now there is one idea for white is to play the knight to D5 next move. So if black plays knight to C6,
yes,
white will take. B takes C6, knight D5, queen take D3, knight take E7, king F7. And we're entering an endgame. This has been played at least one game before. Okay. I think Solodovnichenko played white. He lost that game actually, but instead of bishop take D3, c take D3 stronger here. Okay. I had a quick look at it this morning. I thought it would be interesting to play. King take E7, E5, pawn take E5, bishop F3, and some kind of compensation. White can always win back the E5 pawn and pair of bishops and some initiatives. It's an interesting endgame.
Yeah. very interesting. I suppose
he wanted to avoid this.
I suppose his bishop maybe can come around here as well, some positions. So, okay, so.
But this might be the most critical, I think, because the way he played, I think I'm getting a nice attack actually.
Okay.
So he went king h8, and now it was a new position for me, avoiding knight d5.
Okay, so king h1 is a useful move to play here.
It's very useful. I actually had in mind to play move like e5, d take e5, queen g6 with the idea of bishop to d3 to checkmate the black king. But he can at least give the queen for 3 pieces, and that's enough to be better for black. So I have to play the king to h1 first.
Okay, so the point is after something like this here, you take on d4,
king
and
h1.
now you have to go king h1, and then you can just capture on d3.
It's nothing
minimum,
better, yeah.
Maybe even e4 here. So king to h1 is a very useful move to sidestep that. Okay, and now
now the problem is I'm threatening e5 with the same idea, but now he plays knight to d7.
Okay.
And if he can enter to e5 with a knight, black is completely fine.
Yeah.
So I had seen this move, and I calculated knight take e6. I thought it looked like a great queen sacrifice actually.
This is what we want to see. Definitely.
I'm getting a rook and a piece for the queen, and his king is in big trouble, and he's undeveloped on the queen side. So this is a very forced line.
You're a dangerous player.
Yeah. Actually, it's interesting. Should I include rook b3 or if I should take immediately? But I think take immediately was the best decision.
Okay.
Sometimes rook b3, queen a5, and the knight on c3 is defended. The difference here is that his queen is more active on a5, so he's covering on the 5th rank, and so I think the game was the right.
Okay, so he has to play knight e5 here, otherwise it's just.
Otherwise, I'm just clearly better.
Just clearly better, yeah. So with queen g3 as well, maybe coming into the game.
I'm threatening the rook, and yes, everything is.
Okay, so what a queen sacrifice this is! What a brilliant sacrifice.
Knight e5.
Knight e5, and now you just calmly took on f8.
Yeah, it's a kind of both positional and tactical sacrifice. Yep. So even if the attack is not winning, I still have a very nice position.
Okay.
Just to play.
So have to take the queen. This is forced, otherwise you're going to be some serious material down. And now knight to g6 check.
Yes.
Okay, and if you go to g8, knight takes bishop is check, so king e7 looks forced.
King e7 is forced, bishop take d3.
Aha, okay.
And if you take on c3, I take on e7 again, and I have a lot of threats.
You certainly do.
Bishops, and he don't get time to develop his queen side, so I'm probably just winning here, I think. Knight d5 is a threat as well.
Right, yeah, okay. So he went king marching up the board.
Yes.
King takes g6, okay.
e5 check.
King h5.
Well, the problem is if you go king f7.
Yep.
E take f6. Maybe pawn take f6. Knight to d5. It's just a crashing position. Threatening knight take e7, rook take f6, and he cannot move his bishop from c8 because then my rook is taking on b7. So I think it's just too much for.
It looks good. Yeah. So he has to go marching.
Yeah, he played it very quick, so I thought he realized he was in trouble then.
Right. It's always a good sign.
Yeah.
So, okay.
But if he plays quick and I don't find the right way to force the win, then he might get some chances in my time trouble.
Yes.
So e take f6. So actually, I expected queen take c3 because I thought bishop take f6 was just dead lost with the king on h5.
Okay.
But queen take c3, f take e7, bishop d7. I thought that would be the best chance for black to play.
Okay, but this pawn's always very strong, I guess, and should be.
I have a few ideas. Sometimes bishop e1 to get a tempo. Maybe not immediately, but.
Okay.
Maybe rook take b7, rook f8 is another idea.
Yeah.
At least he gives me some options, so I have to find the right way.
But it must be very good compensation here.
I think it's just right winning if I play it the right way. But,
okay. So he went.
Even positional, I can just play quite a slow game, and it's with the king on h5. It's always very close to winning for white.
So instead, capture happened on f6, and well, the bishop on d3 is doing quite a good job.
Yes.
So in this position.
So what black want to do is to play f5.
Yeah.
To get the king back in safety.
Yeah.
And maybe has some survival chances.
Uh-huh.
So if I go knight d5, f5, at least he's saving the king. But actually I'm winning here with knight b6, rook b8, knight takes c8, and I can just win a technical position.
Just take care of.
Yeah.
And now, where does the king move?
Well, he cannot go to g6, I guess. Rook a5, winning the queen.
So he has to come forward somewhere.
There should be some kind of mate over here, I'm sure.
It looks very risky.
But I choose another way to play.
Okay. Could you also play? You can maybe just play king g2 or something.
Yeah, I think it's many ways to
win. Okay. Maybe there's something even stronger there actually with rook f4 false mate. But okay. Yes. So that's a very nice line.
I played for a straightforward win.
Okay.
With, mating the king was my idea.
Might as well.
Queen a5 is forced, otherwise knight e4 with tempo, and rook take f6. So I'm preventing his king to get out.
Yep.
And he's just tied down. If he cannot develop the bishop and the rook on the queen side, I'm just baiting his king in a few moves.
Yep.
I have plenty of ideas. Bishop g6 check is a serious threat right now, I think.
So he has
rook take d6, another way to play. So
he has to try to get his queenside pieces out here. I
yes.
guess only chance. So bishop d7 looks like a good idea. And now you bring him around towards the king side.
Yes.
So
and now I get a knight into the game.
With knight g3, maybe in some positions, I guess.
And now I actually activate my rook on b3, so I'm threatening a mate in a few moves with bishop e2 check.
Aha. Okay. Yes. So if he plays, I'll just play a silly move.
Yeah.
And then you'll go bishop e2.
So
king
if
here.
bishop g4, rook h3 mate. If king goes, I have rook take h6 or g3. Or
okay, so this is the nice checkmate. Bishop g4, rook h3, checkmate. So
yeah.
nice touch.
Well, let's if you put the rook on g8 instead.
Yep. So rook g8.
Bishop e2. Yes. King h4. I can even play rook h3. But rook take h6 is easier. But yes.
Rook h3 is quite. It's a nice touch. I can go rook h6, but this is the way to win the brilliancy prize by taking here and then going g3. So that's what the crowd would like to see. Beautiful checkmate. And you have to remember, this guy's not a patzer. He's 2700 strength, Vachier-Legrave. So to beat someone like this in this manner is quite special.
So he has to play bishop to g4 to avoid the check.
Yeah.
Or he has to play queen e1 check, but then rook f1 and knight f6 winning the bishop is just
simple.
Just over, I think.
And then this knight comes in, and then and the king's still in trouble as well.
Yes,
so it's okay. So bishop g4.
And now a simple move, getting some space for my king, h3.
Yep.
And threatening a mate in the same time.
Yep.
So
now his pieces drop off.
If you take on h3, I check on e2, and it's a mate.
Okay, it's the same. Take here, then bishop e2 again. Leads to a similar kind of checkmate as we just saw. So rook g8.
Yes.
Yep.
Take on g4.
And okay, it's looking bad.
He must take with the rook.
This is bishop e2 again, so rook takes.
And here rook f5 wins the queen. Take knight g3 check, and technical win. But I had a better move, I think.
Okay. Want some more glory?
Bishop e2.
Okay.
No, it's just winning a whole rook actually. So it's or checkmating the king. So
queen e1 looks natural because
it's on the move. Otherwise, rook h3 mate.
Yeah. So rook h3 is coming. So queen e1.
Yes. King h2.
Yep.
If queen h4, rook h3 wins the queen.
Well, I mean, he actually resigned after king h2 because
he resigned because of queen take e2.
Okay, so let's say he takes the bishop. We want to see the nice finish here.
Rook h3 check.
Rook h3, rook h4.
Rook h4. I have knight g3, but I think rook take h4. Then I win. I will be a rook and piece up. King takes. Rook f4 check. If king h5, knight fork and protect the rook. And if you go queen g4, I can even play g3, not even giving my rook.
So if king, just g3. Nice touch. And if king h5, knight to f6. What a beautiful game. Definitely a contender.
I did.
So what's your next event, Manuel?
I will just have a few team matches, so I have no event plans so far.
You heard that, chess organizers? You want to see games like this in your tournament?
Yes.
It's your guy.
This is the guy to get in. If you want to see some great attacking, interesting chess with the king marching up the board, then invite this guy to your tournament. So definitely. And I guess your rating is hopefully you've gained some points here, surely.
I was just about even before this game. So
okay, so it's
a few points plus after this. Of course.
So that's certainly a nice way to finish the tournament anyway.
Yeah.
So. Okay, well, very nice go. I don't know if anyone's got any more questions in the audience, maybe.
Let's get back to the top games. Thank you very much for coming down to show that.
So, thank you for joining us there. So, yeah, definitely a contender for best game prize, that one. Be interesting to see what people at home think about that game, and honoured to have Emanuel here to go through the game and show us his thoughts. So
we had a question about the best game prize. How is that selected? You're in charge?
I think I'm one of the people in charge. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for putting that on me, whoever's choice that was. But okay, well, it does help if you come in the conference room as well, I think, to show your game. We like that. We like that. If you got me a glass of wine, it'd be sold.